It's Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by former GB rep and current unbeaten cruiserweight professional Scott Forrest. Scott, how are you?
I'm good, I'm good. I'm going to training quite soon, so last session of the week.
Now, as we record this now, it's Friday, December the 6th. You were supposed to be fighting tomorrow night
Yeah.
against a fellow unbeaten opponent, but unfortunately that's
Mhm.
not happening. Just tell us in your own words why it's not happening and when you found out.
So I found out probably just over a week ago. Just got a message saying a screenshot of the email saying bout cancellation due to my opponent failing his drug test. And yeah, when I found out, I was literally about 20 minutes away from getting in the ring for sparring. So it was a big dampener, and I still went and done the spar anyway, but because you never know. I was like hoping maybe they'd get a replacement or something. So I was like, okay, I'm glad they caught it anyway, because I mean, someone cheating like that needs it's good to get caught. But I was devastated that basically started coming along, and it was like I'm not getting this fight. But I found out a couple of days ago, regardless, anyway, that the main event guy got injured and the whole card's been pulled. So by the looks of it, it just wasn't meant to happen anyway. But yeah, we keep training and move on.
And is there any consolation in that for you when you found out it was Suleiman Sissoko who was injured? He was supposed to fight Mean Machine in the WBC Eliminator in the main event. When you find out
Yeah.
that the show's getting cancelled anyway, is there any consolation in that, or are you still, pretty frustrated?
But still frustrating because regardless, it means that I definitely don't fight. And I'm not fussed about what the main event or any other cards are doing. The main focus for me was for my fight and for me to fight. But yeah, it's just one of those things. It's been too many fights in a row now that's been cancelled back to back. I mean, I've not been in the ring since April, May this year, so it's been a long time. And I'm so hungry for a fight. I literally I'd take anyone at this moment.
Why do you think it is that you're struggling to get those fights? I mean, obviously some of them have been cancelled and that's nothing to do with you, but why are you not getting more opportunities?
I think when you look at the big picture, it's kind of I'm a high risk, low reward fight right now. Ideally, would like to build up my ranking, so it would be you would be more in favourable to fight. But as it stands right now, I've only had 6 fights. I'm not in the top 100 yet in the world, um, but we're trying to get there. But it's quite hard to do when no one will fight you. So it's a difficult position to be in. And all these guys that I would love to fight, uh, they're just refusing to fight. It's a bit frustrating.
How did you get this potential fight in the first place? Because it's obviously on an undercard of a pretty big WBC eliminator, but more so it's out in Equatorial Guinea, or it was going to be, which is a not exactly a boxing hotbed traditionally. How did that all come about?
Basically, what I'm out here in Latvia, so I got in touch with a guy here, Adam, and he was in touch with a few people, and just word of mouth got around, and they reached out to the couple of guys I've been talking to and asked if I would take that fight, and I was more than happy to take it. So it was just basically more word of mouth.
What led you to Latvia in the first place?
My missus is from Latvia,
Okay.
and we've got 2 kids here now. So before I was travelling back and forth from the UK to here, I was training in Liverpool at Rotunda. But the more time went on, the harder it got, and just made the decision to start training here full time. And honestly, it's probably one of the best decisions I've made.
You've got some decent fighters around your weight as well that you can spar regularly, I'm assuming.
Yes, there's a couple of cruiserweights, and there's a heavyweight as well who's actually fighting for the WBC International Silver this weekend. Oh no, next Thursday. Thursday, Bogdan Mironets.
Yeah.
Um, he's doing well. He's beat two big names like Cash Ali and that, and So I've got brilliant sparring partners here. We've got a great team, and we all back each other 100%. So it's not, like I said, it's one of the best things I've done.
And just looking briefly on BoxRec, is it right you were born in South Africa?
Yes, yeah, I was born in Johannesburg.
How come? Obviously, you're Scottish, but how come? Were your parents based over there?
Yeah, my mum's English, my dad's Scottish, and they met over there and had me and my two brothers, and moved back to Scotland when I was around 5, 6 years old.
Oh wow. Do you ever go back there? I know you wouldn't remember any of it really, but
I remember quite a bit. Beautiful
okay.
country, from what I remember. Obviously, a lot of things have changed there now, but I would love to go back. But I mean, this sport, you're so busy. I've not really had the time or anything to actually go.
And while you, as you said, you've not been getting the fights you want just yet. Obviously, your pro career is still fairly young. What are the sort of names you've been sparring, not just in Latvia, but over the course of your career so far? Because that kind of fills the gaps, I suppose.
Sparring wise, there's not a lot of people I've not sparred. So it's like I've done big camps with Reactor, uh, been sparring with likes CBS, yeah, and Lawrence Okoli. It's while I've been professional, like I've got a lot of sparring with all three of those, and yeah, I mean it's great experience, great to be in the ring with people at that level, and every time I come back from the spars, it just shows me what level I am, and like I'm right there. I'm just a stone throw away from competing at that level, and that's what motivates me even more. And even the feedback from them, they say like all I need is that opportunity, and I'm gonna smash through.
Good to hear. Now, you mentioned CBS there. We saw he recently had his unification fight against Zurdo Ramirez. Didn't go his way,
Yeah,
unfortunately, but Zurdo was very impressive. Jai
very.
Opetaia's obviously been talked about for a long time now, and his potential of going even further than he has. In your view, as someone rising up the ranks, who's the number one cruiserweight in the world at the moment?
Optile. The way he's been coming on is unbelievable, and likes of what he done to Jack Massey,
Hmm.
who's also he's legit, and he made him look average. He just disposed of him so comfortably. Was so comfortable in that fight. Yeah, but Zordo is. I think he's a wrecking force coming through. It'll be very interesting to see how he does because he's got the work rate and he's got the speed because he's just came up from light heavyweight as well. So he's kept that speed clearly and he's kept the work rate there. So I think he's going to be a problem for quite a few cruiserweights because it's quite hard to keep up with someone like that.
And you mentioned you sparred a Coley as well. He's obviously won titles at cruiser, bridgerweight, and now with Frank Warren, I think his first major heavyweight fight is tomorrow night, as we talk now on the Magnificent
Yeah,
Seven show. This might not come out till after he's had it, although I don't think there's any or too much risk of an upset in that fight. How much an impact do you
no.
think Lawrence can make at heavyweight?
I think if he does it properly, he can make a good impact on the heavyweight. He's definitely got the reach and I think he's got the power. But we need to see how he does because when I was there sparring him, he was just starting to use his left hand a lot better, which is something that he very much lacked throughout his entire career.
Hmm.
So it was nice to see when I jumped in the ring with him this time compared to about 5, 6 years ago, the last time I sparred him. It was like a different person. So I think he's in the right gym right now for development, and I think he'll do quite well.
Out of all those top guys that you've sparred, who would you say you've learned the most against?
They're all three are such different styles, so it's like you pick things away from each and every one of them. Like with CBS, I learned the fitness and the work rate he had was something I've actually not came up against. I was very much surprised. Reactor's now he's patient. He looks for his shots rather than just throws. So with him, it's just again something so different. And when I sparred Okolie, he was massive.
Yeah.
He was uh, like way over 100 kilo, and I could see the minute I stepped in the ring, and the bell rang, and I faced him. I could tell straight away. But again, with me, I just tried to use my tactic against him, like get in close and work in close, because I know he's long and he's not going to be able to work like that. So, like I say, you just pick up things from each and every one of them.
And when you go in with this sort of level of opposition in sparring, is part of it, obviously, you're going to get good work for yourself and the other person, but is there any part of you that's hoping word will get around, word will get put in for you somewhere that you'll get an opportunity?
I would love that to happen. If people get to see, the only thing is with these kind of spars, they're kind of closed doors. So when you've got people that's fighting for titles, like Riatpo was going to be fighting for world title, CBS obviously has the world title, and Okolie was leading up to his Bridgerweight title fight. So the gyms tend to be quite empty, so you kind of know that word's not going to get around unless the fighters themselves bring you up a name on like interviews or something. But yes, it would be nice for it to come out, but you know it's not really going to happen.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah,
Earlier this week, they announced the big February 22nd show in Riyadh, which a lot of people are now calling the best show they've ever seen in their lifetime.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty good. It'll be hard to pick, but which of the fights that have been announced are you most looking forward to?
wow. Um, oh, I've really struggled to choose one. I'm looking forward to obviously the main event, Bivol and Berbatov again, because the first fight was incredible. So many people argued over it, the controversy, but on the first one, I thought it went the right way. I really thought he'd just done enough to win it by one or two, but a lot of people argued the other way. But I'm looking forward to that to see how it ends up because they're both top level, and I'm sure they'll adapt. It's going to be maybe a different fight this time. But yeah, hard one to pick. But probably the main event is the one I'm looking forward to the most.
Now, sorry to bring this up, but the last time we interviewed you, you were asked for a prediction on Anthony Joshua against Daniel Dubois. You said Joshua would have too much experience for him. Like
Yeah,
many of us, including probably me at the time, you were wrong. Daniel Dubois got the win.
very much so. Yeah, yeah, it
So,
was that was a shocking one. I think everyone, every single person, bar a couple, were completely shocked at how that ended up happening. But the end of the day, heavyweight boxing, it takes one shot. I thought he was a bit too experienced to get caught with a shot like that off someone that you know is so dangerous with it. But I don't know, it just takes one moment, one switch off, and it's lights out in heavyweight.
what do you make of the future? Starting with Dubois, because he's obviously got Parker on that big 22nd of
Yeah,
February bill. Seems like a tough match for Dubois stylistically.
yeah. Parker's got the good work rate, but it will be it'll be an interesting one because Parker's not the biggest of the heavyweights, and Dubois is looking massive.
Hmm.
So it's going to be an interesting one, but I do think Dubois has got a bit too much power in his shots. So I guess we'll see what's going to win with a power or work rate because Parker's got the work rate.
And then Anthony Joshua, who, as we've said, was dominated, I think it's fair to say, against Daniel Dubois against the
Yeah,
odds. He's not ready to come back in February, hence no rematch. They reckon they're going to bring him back April or May.
I,
What's the
I
route
think that
back
was
for him?
clever. Um, I think it's a hard one for him because he's he's too good to be fighting a tin can, and he also kind of needs a comeback fight. So I think uh, it's hard. I'll really be interesting to see what his management team is trying to decide for him. But I'm glad he's taking the time out because after a knockout like that, I think coming back so soon to fight Dubois again is is too dangerous, especially after that kind of knockout because he was hurt bad, and I think he needs time to recover. But no, I guess it's we'll just have to see.
And just before I let you go, if slim chance anyone's watching this and a promoter or matchmaker wants to reach out to you for a fight, what's the best way to get into contact?
Uh, you can reach out to me on my social medias, or you can get in contact with the people that I've been chatting with to over here. We've got Sam Kinnock in Scotland, who's been trying to search for fights. He's been pushing. We've got Adam um,
Noble.
Noble, Adam Noble, Adam Noble, who's been pushing for the people that he knows, and he's been reaching out to a good few as well. So if they've got contacts with them, or if they want to contact me directly, I'd happily deal with it directly as well.
Great stuff. All right. Well, fingers crossed. Obviously, if anyone in my contacts book reaches out to me, I'll pass on your details as well. And hopefully you'll
100%.
get something in the diary for early next year.
Yeah, that's what we're planning. We're trying to get a busy year next year because the way I've been training, the way I feel, is I've never felt as good as I have at this moment, and that's why I was so looking forward to this fight. But I'm ready for anyone and everyone, so I'm looking forward to see how this goes.
Great stuff. Mate, really appreciate your time and yeah, hope your luck changes sooner rather than later.
I hope so too, man.
Cheers, mate. Take care.